Start your day just right. Welcome to Mornings Together with Rob, Mon, and Bernie.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Mornings Together. Together we are.
Here we are.
Here we are on
We're
this
together.
Thursday on the field. Here we are together. Together we are. Together.
I love it.
Yeah. But lovely to have you together. Oh, goodness.
Whoa, it's a tough
Whoa,
day.
it's a tough day. Mornings Together with Rob, Mon, and Bernie, and producer Logan. Hey, Logan, how's it going?
Hey,
Hello,
look at
everyone.
Hello,
Yay.
hello. It is so good to be together once
Thursday.
more
I reckon.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
You know what's good about
feels
Thursday?
Thursday.
It's the last day of the week for
I know for a lot
For
of
us.
I know.
It's like,
I know.
yes,
Don't you
Friday
love
off.
It? It's like the minute it just kind of turns the corner after Wednesday afternoon. It's just like, come on.
Come on.
Come on into Thursday.
That's
So
right.
there's lots of things going on today.
Yeah.
On Thursday. It is the 1st of October.
It is.
Yes.
September is done.
Yeah.
It felt like September was like a blink.
Yeah.
It
Where did
was.
that
It was
go?
an absolute blink.
Yeah.
I was like talking about August. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
October
It's
tomorrow.
October tomorrow. It's episode 80 today.
8-0.
80.
8-0.
It's a 80
Love it.
episode anniversary.
What is that?
Episode anniversary.
80 years. I don't know what 80 years
80.
is.
Who knows?
I don't know.
It's
Producer
gotta be
Logan, do
some
some research.
Precious stone.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Do some
precious
research.
stone?
What's an 80th
So
anniversary?
50th is gold.
50th is gold. 60th
60th
is
platinum.
platinum. 70th is.
Diamond.
I don't think many people get to the 70 or 80 year.
My grandparents were married over 70 years.
Over
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
No
Yeah,
way.
They
That
both
is
lived into their
impressive.
late 90s, and they were married. Like my grandmother was 15, and my grandpa was like 18 or 19.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is amazing.
Your mum's saying that our daylight savings change, we didn't let her know.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, America.
sorry, Vicky. Well, yes,
all
we all said that we had daylight savings change on the
Daylight
weekend.
savings.
Yeah.
Yep.
It did.
Yeah,
It does throw you though.
it
Hey.
Yeah.
really does.
That's what
And
it used to.
I'm still getting over it this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's
What is
And
it-
always remembering which way. Yeah.
I remember before we had MJ, it always throw us because
Yep.
Yeah.
the day just seems to go way faster. It feels like it's on turbo speed now.
Yeah.
what was funny? We had the young adults around on Monday night, and they came to our house and they go, "Oh, we can see the outside of your house," like because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
usually dark when
yeah.
they turn up. And so they went out. and They're like, "Wow, this is a cool deck. Well, we could
Yeah.
be out here in summer."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
Come on, summer."
But also, so today is episode 80, and
Yes.
we want to let you know this morning
Yes.
that there is a finite amount of episodes like this
Yes,
to go,
Yeah.
indeed.
but the number is 20. Nice whole number. So
Yeah.
we're going to be keeping going in this format till December 10th,
Yeah.
which is a Thursday.
Right.
Whether we do episode 100 on that Thursday or
Yeah.
we do some kind of fun interactive brunchy thing, we're still figuring that out. But just want to let you know that we've set a target, and at
Yeah.
that point, that's when this current format of things is going to end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It there may be something in the future we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe resurrected in some
And
different
maybe
way.
resurrected
Yeah.
in some way,
We
but
plan and hope of no more COVID for us.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
If there is more COVID, there may be more
There
mornings
may
Yeah,
be
together.
what it is. But yeah,
exactly.
so another 20 episodes of us. That's another 5 weeks worth.
Yes.
And I can tell you guys already, we have got some sensational guests.
I
lined
Oh,
up
know.
in
man.
advance.
Incredible. Yeah.
So, as a sneak peek, we have got Ben Pierce keen to come back
I
on
know.
again.
So cool. Yeah.
Let's
We have confirmed overnight
Yeah.
Yes.
one of my friends who lives in Beirut.
Amazing.
Going to be
Come
coming
on.
on the
Yeah.
show
So
in a
good.
couple of weeks, which is very, very
Very
exciting.
cool.
Caleb the Man Fryatt
Yeah.
Oh, here
Caleb
we
the
go.
man.
is
yeah.
up with us soon
That's
as
trouble.
well.
Yeah.
He needs to reconnect with his fans,
That's right.
Yes.
so he's coming
Start
back.
up his Instagram
Yeah,
fan
yeah.
page again.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we're working on some other things as well. We're gonna look at someone who's really involved themselves in the bicultural journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some music.
Yeah.
We have our very own Mana coming on the show in a couple
Mana
Yeah,
weeks as well.
Mana.
So
Marlboro.
some great guests still lined up.
Yeah.
So we're not cruising to 100. We're gonna be
Yeah.
fighting and kicking and
Solid.
smashing
Yeah.
it. Some solid-
Can Mana bring his guitar?
I think
course
we
he
can.
can.
Of
Come
course
on.
he can.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yes.
He
So
and I
yeah,
might-
so that's
he
a
and I might jam a few Māori songs. For you.
Do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
It'd be very, very cool. So, some exciting things still to come.
Yeah.
So don't get disheartened. Some exciting things still to come.
I figured out 80.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
What is
here
it?
it is.
It's the Oak and Pearl anniversary.
Oak and
Oh.
Pearl.
So I
Really?
guess that's where you get like furniture, like
Oak and
or...
pearl. I'm like, they're the least precious
Is it
things.
like alluding
Yeah.
to your coffin?
Have we
Hang on.
gone
Yeah, maybe.
pearls in your oak coffin?
Hold
There
on.
we go. That's-
Pearls are beautiful.
Pearls are-
Oh,
Come
man.
on.
In modern day, you can substitute oak for diamond.
Well,
But
there
you've
you
already had
go.
your diamond anniversary. It's like,
There
oh,
we
we're doing
go,
it
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's better than paper. and
Yeah, well, paper and
but
tin.
but it's kind of a weird transition to go from platinum to oak and pearl. But
Yeah.
That's right.
I guess back in the day, oak was a much more luxury wood.
I guess back in the day,
Yes.
not many people reached 80 as well. So
Yeah, there we go.
put anything down
That's
for that
right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure.
You're not sure.
No one's made it.
No one's got
Throw
there
some
before.
oak and pearl at them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, say good morning to a few people. Good morning, Georgia.
Hey,
Yes.
Georgie.
Georgia.
Stunning day down here. Not so much up here. Today is wet and wild.
Every time I hear your voice, your name come up, I'm thinking of that song, Georgia. Oh my mind.
Ray Charles.
Classic.
Come on.
Yeah.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
And Pauline Longley says good morning, everyone, as well.
Good
Pauline,
morning,
Pauline,
everyone.
good to hear from you.
great to have you with us. So today is the Feels Thursday.
It's the Feels Thursday.
So calming.
So, yes.
It is nice. It's like we were saying, it's like the end of the week. It's like
Yeah. I know.
cruising to the end. And as you know, typically on Thursday we have a guest,
Yes.
but we're doing something a bit special today, as you might
Yeah.
have read in the description. Seeing that it is episode 80,
Yeah.
and because we've had two significant debates take place yesterday,
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness.
we
Yeah.
thought we would get our Paddy Gower on and interview each other
Petty Gower.
with some investigative journalism, with intriguing comments and facts and figures
Yeah.
and things like that. So, what today the guest on the show is us.
Yes.
We
And
We
producer
are the
Logan.
guests.
Hey.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
it's a chance for you to ask all those questions you've ever wanted to ask
Yeah.
about
yes.
each of us. You know, a lot of you have been with us for all 80 episodes, so
I
you
know,
may feel like you know us quite
incredible.
well, but there might
Yeah.
be something you're like,
Something
oh, I don't
new.
know.
Something new.
So start commenting your questions in the comment section on YouTube and on Facebook. We can see those, and we will be
Yeah.
answering them as we go. So how we're going to do it is, once we get past the housekeeping and stuff like that,
Mhm.
each of us has been assigned a person to interview, and
Yes.
each of us will have 10 minutes to interview the person.
Yeah.
And we'll be bringing in questions from yourself and questions from producer Logan, who's been scheming. His eyebrows are all twitchy, and
Yes.
he's very scheming.
I
And-
solicited a few questions earlier.
yeah. And once the 10 minutes is up, you're gonna get called.
Did you know that there used to be a show called The Gong Show?
I believe so. Yes.
Before Idol or anything like that, people would get up and if they didn't like you, they would gong you.
UK show, yeah. The Gong Show.
Yeah.
I saw it in the States with an American guy. I saw the
Ah.
reruns of it, but yeah, it was called The Gong
All right. George has already got a question out there. Have any of us got dirt on Rob?
Show.
It's the perennial question, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Do you think we would have asked so many guests if we had our own dirt
a
on
lot of them
Rob?
have been my friends, and I'm like, come on, people.
Yeah,
What
no,
do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got?
no, Rob is the
Dirt.
real deal.
Real deal. But
He's
yes, that
a
is your
real
chance
nice
to get
guy.
dirt on each of us.
That's right.
Find out those things you never thought. And we're going to give you a taster of that first with the catch-up question today.
Yep.
So the catch-up question is like lighthearted, fun.
Indeed.
Mhm.
And today's catch-up question is, what's one thing people may not know about me? Not me particularly, but each of us.
Yep.
What's one thing people may not know about us?
Here we go.
Monica, why don't you kick us
Oh
off?
no.
Come on, Lolita.
Yeah.
Come on, Lolita.
What you may not know is that when I was a kid, I did dancing lessons for years.
Wow.
Here we
did.
go.
I did dancing
What kind
lessons.
of
What kind of
dancing?
dancing?
Ballet
What?
and
Come on,
let's go.
folklore kind of dancing. as
Folklore
well.
dancing.
Folklore meaning
What's folklore dancing?
well, meaning kind of like learning some in the Mexican culture, there's a lot of dances that you
Yes.
do that are really famous, like
Yeah.
La Bamba and all those kind of things.
Yep.
But it's amazing when you see it en masse.
Yep.
And yeah, I used to I learned all those kind of dances way back in
Wow.
the day,
That's
and
impressive.
it's amazing. But they used to tour like some of the people that like were the instructors. They used to go on tour around the world. Like it was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of these beautiful costumey things. But I was a little girl. Yeah, I did that when I was a kid.
Now,
Yeah.
Rob, I want to know
Nice.
if you thought the same thing as
Nice.
I did. When she
Yes.
said folklore dancing, did you imagine the funny feathered hat,
Yes.
the long shorts, with
Yeah.
and the
was just
maypole
like,
thing, the like, medieval
Yeah,
folklore
the
thing?
folklore dancing. I'm thinking, what
Someone
is a Mexican folklore
Yeah,
dancing?
someone involving
Yeah.
someone playing a lute.
A lute.
That's where my mind was. That's a banjo. Similar idea.
Sounds the same.
Sounds the same.
Yeah, I was tossing up between telling you I was a dancer or that I used to play clarinet.
Oh, tell us about
Clarinet.
clarinet. Come on.
Clarinet.
Yeah,
There we
jazz
go.
band.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to play clarinet.
Wow.
and
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I know it's hilarious, but yeah.
Did you do
Very good.
grades?
Pardon? Yeah,
Yeah.
I did all of that. Yeah, I did.
How
that.
long did you play for?
Stop it.
I played. Not very long, for about 4 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's still really
It's long enough to learn the reed instrument.
Me and my girlfriend would crack up. We're like, why are we doing
Clarinet,
this?
nice. That's cool. All right, Rob.
Yeah.
What's
No
one-
Kenny G then.
No,
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 Kenny
not like that.
What's one thing people may not know about you?
Things people don't know about me. Let's go with food stuff first.
Yeah.
I hate baked beans.
Well, this
I
is
hate
true.
Yeah.
creamed corn.
Yep.
Okay. Don't ever get me that. If I come to your house and you serve that, I'll just be like, ugh.
Well, he doesn't.
Those are such Kiwi things.
Oh, they're
to
Kiwi
eat,
things. I
eh?
hate
I
them.
know,
You don't
I
even
know,
have to
it's weird.
serve him this stuff. Like
No,
we have like
sniff
the
it.
food trucks come in, and like recently there's been pallets of baked beans in.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what are
even
they
in
doing
corn.
to people?
And he
He's
just
suffering for Jesus.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, people need food, not baked beans. You know, like what?
But have you ever had homemade like American baked beans? Like that is a whole different
Oh,
thing. It doesn't
oh.
taste like the can.
So the fried beans kind of thing
No,
with the
no, like-
barbecue kind of
Yeah,
flavor.
the barbecue. It's
yeah,
they're
I've
incredible.
heard about it. I've
Yeah.
heard about it.
Yeah.
It's texture, but the Kiwi culture, that's the smaller beans
Yeah.
mixed
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
flavor. I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that is kind of gross. Yeah.
learning a lot about Rob this morning. This is great.
nasty. So anyway, a fact about me, which some of you know, I've probably shared once or twice, but I'm as much Russian as I am Maori.
Oh wow.
So one of the
yeah.
things that I've always wanted to do is to trace my Russian family heritage roots back to Moscow, I think it is where we come from.
That's
Wow.
so
And
cool, Rob.
I've actually
Yeah.
had an auntie who's done 5 generations
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what's it called, genealogy,
Yeah.
on both sides of my mum's family, going back to Te Aroha, where my family comes from, Ngāti Porou,
Come on.
Yeah.
and then back to Moscow. I think
Yeah.
it is with my Russian side of my family.
That's
What
so
a combination.
cool.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm keen. I'm keen to go.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
cute.
check that
How
out. And
beautiful.
there's probably still family members
Dude, that's
connected
amazing.
back there. So that's there
Yeah.
you go. Something
That's
interesting.
wild.
Something
Um, Monica, your mum's just commented.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
What, mother?
She said that Monica won a scholarship to learn Mexican folklore dance.
I
She's excellent
did.
on the castanet.
That's right.
Ah,
There we go.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'd love to see that. Corona in one hand, castanet in the other. Lolita singing us a tune. Come on.
You forget I was a kid.
I
love
think this needs to happen.
Yeah.
No, this is
I'm
never
gonna,
going
I'm
to
gonna
happen.
find you some castanets.
No,
Wow.
dude, I can't even play that anymore.
This
but back in
is
the day,
already turned out to be a great
This
episode.
is, this is gold.
This is gold.
mother,
Get-
no
get your
more,
mum-
man.
get your
No,
mum
I-
on
I
here and
say,
she
I
tells
want
the
to be the
stories. Let's
moderator
call her
on
up. Let's-
comments.
Let's call her up. Let's get her on.
No,
She's putting them on
absolutely
public.
not.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
seeing
yeah.
them.
No,
Keep them coming, Vicky.
no,
We love
mom,
Vicky.
no.
Thank you.
Producer
yeah.
Logan.
Okay.
What's one thing people may not know about you,
So,
apart from what you look like?
so the one that came to mind, there was another one which Monica reminded me about. So first, I represented New Zealand in international sports,
Wow.
but you won't guess which sport it was.
No, I won't.
Is it? It's. I'm guessing it's not saying mainstream like hockey or
Yeah, nah,
netball
nah.
or rugby.
Long
Nah.
jump.
Was it Tiddlywinks?
No, it was robotics.
Robotics.
Oh, dude.
So
That's amazing.
So like the robots fighting each other, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's
I like it.
But it was
That
it's
is really
classified
cool.
as a sport in New Zealand. So yeah.
I like it.
Wow.
That's very cool.
That is really,
Yeah, I
really
like it.
cool.
Yeah. When Armageddon comes, Logan's your man to build a robot to get you
Logan,
through.
that's really cool. Yeah.
And then the one that Monica reminded me about is dancing.
Oh,
I actually did ballroom dancing competitively for a couple of years.
Stop it.
Oh,
Logan.
come
Stop
on,
it.
That's so cool.
You got better dirt
Do you
than we
remember? I
have.
know
man.
that is.
Oh, I've got
That's
much to
way better than
Come
folklore.
on.
I want to see
Logan's
some
like, I've
ballroom
got much
dancing.
Ballroom
Touched out of
dancing.
myself.
Dude.
Wow,
cool,
that's
man.
incredible.
there
Are
you
do
go.
do you still do the odd ballroom dance or?
Oh, not in a very long time.
Not a
Yeah.
very long
But it's
time,
actually
that's
really
cool.
technical.
It
Yeah,
is.
it
Like it's hard.
And some of the dances are very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to be so precise.
Oh,
So
extremely.
who's your
especially
dance partner?
competitively.
Can we call her up?
Or do we need to put it out to the people that Logan needs a new
Love
dance
it.
partner? Yeah.
Logan's-
People of Mornings Together.
We want footage.
Logan needs a new dance
do it.
partner.
We want some footage because that is really cool.
That
It's
is cool.
really hard to do.
Yeah.
We
So
need a
I
photo.
think ballroom
I
dancing.
might
is-
be able to find photos.
That's why there's
Oh, yeah, we
comps
need
on it. There's
photos.
competition.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a big
It's
thing.
mega. Like
It's
it's
mega.
intense. Yeah.
That's huge.
It is.
So how far did you go with the ballroom dancing thing?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like, what were the dances that you remember doing? Because there's
Waltz.
there's like a
bit of waltz,
repertoire,
You always
isn't
have to
there?
learn the waltz. Yep.
Yeah.
Waltz, yeah.
Waltz.
What was there? I can't remember. This was back in intermediate, so
Ooh,
Yeah.
there
Okay.
we go.
Bring it back.
Still interested.
Foxtrot.
I want to see a picture.
Yep.
I want to see pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
tango.
Logan's mum, if
Yes.
you're watching, pictures, please, in the comment
Pictures.
section.
Yeah.
Hey, Mon, Vicky's back.
Oh
Uh-oh,
no.
uh-oh.
She still has your
Mon.
costumes.
Mon.
Mom.
There you go. She still has your costume. She
And-
might send us some pictures.
George's hashtag dirt on Mon.
Dirt on
It's
Mon,
been a
yes,
shift.
that's right.
No,
It's been a shift.
Georgia has given up on Rob. She's chasing down Mon.
Yeah.
That's going nowhere.
We've
Let's chase Mon.
got a perfect source though, who keeps giving us.
No,
stuff.
Mom, no more. I love you, Dave. Keeping my
Keep it going,
California life
Vicky. Keep it
separate to
going.
the Kiwi
You do
life.
have daughters that could possibly bring dirt too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
you know,
yeah, gosh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we
That's
could make
right.
contact.
Yeah. Each of us have access. There's access to dirt so swiftly.
So yeah.
Yep.
My parents are about to probably come on this.
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
So
They've been really kind to you so far, Ben.
they have
They
been
have been.
They've been
incredibly
very
kind.
But that's how they are. They're super cool people.
Like your mum.
They are good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
My mom's cool.
All right. Things you may not know about me.
Things about Bernie.
When I was, I think 9 or 10,
Here we go.
I had the really brilliant idea to try and push a bar of soap into a glass cup in the shower one morning.
Mm,
It
awful.
exploded and sliced the underside of my third toe on my right
Oh
foot.
no.
And I've still got like this weird kind of like lumpy mass from when I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Scarred
Yeah.
you. Oh, Bernie.
Really stupid, right? Like, who
Oh,
does that?
What were you
You're a
thinking?
I don't know. I was
Right.
just like, oh, I'm
Let's
trying to
make
get
this
this.
squishy mess.
I was like working it in with my heel. Like, I was like, this would be
Oh,
great. And
Oh,
then
that foot.
Yeah, and then
Bernie. Oh, how old were you?
I think I must be like 9 or 10.
Oh yeah.
I was
little,
real
yeah,
young.
Yeah.
And it was like instant regret when it went.
Yeah.
You're like,
The other thing on what you reminded me of,
Yeah.
with your clarinet playing, is I used to play saxophone, and I
Yeah,
played
sax
saxophone
is
for
cool.
like 8 years.
Yeah.
From like
Wow.
year 6 all the way through to year 13.
Yeah.
oh wow.
or however long that is. Yeah,
Saxophone has
7
got to be
years.
one of the coolest instruments.
It's
yeah.
great.
It is
It's
pretty
great, but it's very drooly.
Yeah.
Very dribbly.
Yeah.
And you're always in
Sucking
the
on
band
reeds.
behind the
Yeah.
brass section or in
Yeah.
front of the brass section, and they're just like there's pools of
Ugh.
saliva
Yeah.
on the floor.
Yeah.
But no, I got to do some great things playing saxophone. Like was in concert band, jazz bands.
Yeah.
Come on.
Toured all the way to Te Mutu for a thing.
T.O. Mutu.
Right on.
Wow. I
Yeah.
stayed with the
Heart of the Waikato.
I stayed with the family that owned Poppin' Good popcorn at that time.
Oh, really?
Oh
the
wow.
first year.
Yeah.
So I was like with like the dudes in
Yeah.
Te Mutu. Second year I was on some weird farm somewhere, but
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, so there you go.
Love it. So cool.
A silly thing about me, and then
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is just a taster of the stuff you have access to this morning
There you
That's
go.
right.
with your questions. So
you can ask questions.
don't be shy.
Please do.
Throw them out. All questions are good questions, apart from wrong ones.
There may be some people ignore. but
Yeah, some may, we'll moderate them,
We'll moderate.
kind of. But we're here. We've been here for you the entire time.
That's right.
Now's your chance to get a little bit of dirt on us, or to find out a little bit more about each of us. So
Indeed.
it's school holidays.
Yeah.
Things are a bit fast and loose.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We're going crazy.
But before we get into more of that, before we get into our interviews of one another, we've got some housekeeping to do. The first is I would love for you to send through any of your stories through the
Yeah.
stories at bethlehem.org.nz.
For sure.
Fire them through, comments, critiques, thoughts, feelings, pictures, all that. Fire it through stories at bethlehem.org.nz. You can follow the church on social media with the tag at Beth Baptist Church.
Yeah.
So, of course, Mornings Together is part of Bethlehem Baptist Church. And so if you follow Bethlehem Baptist Church, you'll be able to find out all the stuff that's going on. If you need any help, what a wonderful time we had on Tuesday with Pastor
Yeah.
Eric.
Eric's
Oh,
legend.
so good.
So
Yeah.
good.
Mr. Skip.
So if you need any help from any of the care teams attached to BBC, you can flick an email through to care at bethlehem.org.nz or give the church a call on 075762344. And there's a whole variety of teams specializing in different areas to help us out during this interesting season. Next, we love praying for you, so you can fire through your prayer requests via text. There are other ways to do this, but the text is just one way you can do it.
Yeah.
So text using the keyword BBC Prayer through to 4040, and we'd love to lift you up in prayer. This weekend, we get to be together again, which is great.
Yeah, I know. It's so
Yeah.
cool to have
Yeah.
people in the building.
We're not just online. We actually get to physically
Exactly.
be
As
in
a
person.
church
Yeah.
and worship, and it's fantastic.
So you can join us in person this weekend at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6:30 p.m.
Awesome.
The 9 and 11 will be looking at the Prodigal Church
Yep,
series,
continuation.
which is a study around 1 Corinthians.
Yep.
And then the 6:30 p.m. service is Things Jesus Never Said.
Yep.
So a bit of a different vibe in the evening service.
Brittany
Good
will be
times.
preaching.
Yeah.
Brittany
so good.
Williams
Williams.
Yeah.
will be
There we go.
preaching. What's the topic for her one this week?
You won't have
You won't
bad
have
You won't
days.
have bad days.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and it's the week after we're doing the
Doing a
panel.
panel discussion.
So on
in
the
the evening.
11th
The 11th. That's right.
of October, all the previous speakers will be gathering together, and we'll do a bit of a panel thing.
I love that.
Which will be fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to be
Um,
Graham Norton with a red chair that I
Yeah.
can just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good. I like in that email that
Tell
we were
us the
talking
story.
about
Yeah,
this. Eric
exactly.
suggests that I'm the one that gets.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
right.
So,
What the heck?
I'm down for that, by the way. I'm okay with it. But you can join us online this weekend as well. Like so, at 9 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Those
Yep.
will be on all the platforms
Yep.
that you're currently watching the show right now. So that's the church website, that's Facebook, that's YouTube. Producer Logan and the team work really hard to get everything online for
Yep.
us. So thank you, Producer Logan.
Very cool.
Yeah,
You
Logan.
get a round of applause.
Yay, Logan.
His speech.
Hey.
There you go. Finally, this morning, you can listen back to all 80 episodes
Yeah.
of the show
Yeah,
once
for
we
sure.
finish and edit this one. It'll be there as well on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Just search Mornings Together.
Yeah.
Subscribe, write a review, and you can listen the entire school holidays
Yeah.
to every single episode. There's
Your
hours of
morning
content
commute
there.
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
be the same.
There you go. So thank you to and a warm welcome to those who do listen later on the day. You are joining us around the virtual campfire. That is
There
always
it is.
warm, always hot. The chat is always good. The banter always fresh, and
That's
it is
right.
lovely to have you with us whenever it is that you are listening back.
I'm
That's
having
right.
a text battle with my mum.
Oh,
It's my mum's birthday.
Are you
so
trying to get
Happy
her to come on the
birthday,
show?
Mrs. Stacey.
I'm trying to get her to turn up to have cake with us tonight. So
Aw.
Yeah, right on.
you should get her on the
Yes.
comment feed.
I reckon.
my mama, she's chilling today. It's her birthday. She's 61 today.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, so you can listen back to the previous episodes on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
or you can watch back on YouTube and Facebook. All the videos are there as well. Alrighty,
Nice.
are you guys ready?
Here we go.
You guys ready?
Are we having
Are we
a
ready?
segment
Oh, we are.
with Russian
Ah,
Rob?
I can't believe I
Russian
missed. I
Come on,
Don't
Flavor.
past
I was
it.
waiting for it.
What is with me today? I am so. It
Come
wouldn't
on,
be the Fearless
Flavor.
Thursday without.
Yeah, right on.
You ain't
Rob.
gonna understand this flavor,
Wrong.
Flavor.
baby.
Love
Yeah.
it. Oh, it's cut off.
I cut it short
No,
now.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, I've been having numerous conversations
Yeah.
over the last few days. The first one, which I won't get into too much, but the huge uptake of my food bag
I know.
and those kind of
it's
trends
huge.
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I actually think, I think it was Nadia Lim that
Yeah.
started that whole
Yeah.
thing in New Zealand. And no wonder she's a zillionaire now. But
Yeah.
talking to people, they don't want to think about food.
No.
Yeah.
They just want, hey, send me the stuff, give me a recipe that takes 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and we get interesting food every week.
Yeah.
And, the amount of people who've taken that up, I think is amazing. So I just want to toe talk with that. If you haven't got into my food bag, it's a good time.
Yeah.
And even if you're just a couple with no kids, I heard that people are just like making these and it makes
Yeah.
4 and you just take lunch the next day.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Oh, so good. So,
So good.
get into my food bag.
It's,
other
it's
thing-
so helpful.
Yeah. The other thing is Battle of the Burgers and Sandwiches at the moment.
Way
I
over.
just saw
Ooh.
there's a place in Auckland that's opened up called Toasties,
Oh yeah.
toasted sandwiches. And it's a huge thing.
Oh, it's so huge. That's such a Kiwi thing.
It is. But toasted sandwiches,
Yeah.
not just the squished little ones. It's a huge thing in Korea,
Mhm.
Yeah.
of all places.
Yeah.
They make these sandwiches with this white bread and they fry it and they put ham and they do all sorts of things,
Yeah.
cheese, and then and it's like a doorstop. Like it's huge.
Huge.
But they are the business. So
Yeah.
sandwiches and burgers are really big at the moment, and they're so easy to make. Bernie was telling me about his burger experience this
Yeah.
week. He's got his burger game up in the world. So
Yeah.
Thanks to
um,
Flavor Rob.
That's right. Yeah.
it's very good. But anyway, I'm not talking about that. I actually want to talk about what you do. I love those things. So I just chuck a bit of banter out there.
Yeah.
I get to about 8 o'clock at night. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, and you go rummaging in the cupboard for lollies,
Yep.
or you go looking for chocolate.
Yep.
Maybe there's some cookies in there
Preach.
or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. But you know what I love most
What?
is a cup of tea with a piece of slice.
Ooh.
A good slice. So a good cup
So
of
you
tea.
can have a cup of tea at 8 o'clock and go to bed.
Yep.
Oh wow,
Absolutely.
it doesn't keep
with
you awake.
slice. No,
Okay,
it's tea.
yeah.
It's not.
It's
It's
tea.
not coffee.
But
So
there's more caffeine in tea than
But
coffee.
I feel like
not
it's
the
a
coffee I
different
make.
type of caffeine.
Yeah. Pardon?
caffeine.
I think I feel like it's a different type. I know that
Yeah.
it's not, but it feels because like you can have
Yeah.
a tea at like 10 o'clock and go to sleep straight away.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
pleasant.
can't. I think that there must be something different because
I
yeah,
think it's
no.
psychological.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for me, a nice slice, and my wife makes a beautiful slice. Now, this it's called Louise slice. Most
Yeah.
of you know Louise slice. Nice sort of biscuity base,
Yeah.
jam, and a sort of a marshmallowy top with coconut in it.
Oh,
Some
So
people don't
good.
like coconut. You can leave that out, but
yeah.
I tell you, Louise slice, next level. But the debate has always been around slice,
Yeah.
crunchy base or soft cakey base.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this week, Deb made a lemon slice,
Mhm.
Yum.
and it has this crunchy base,
Oh,
like
what?
crack, and it's next level. And there's got the gooey lemony stuff on
Yeah.
top. Hallelujah. Now for me, the perfect thing is obviously biscuit or cake base
Yeah.
with something gooey on top.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. Like people go brownie, this sort of thing. But for me, Louis slice, real simple bases, obviously butter, sugar, flour. That's it. You can use biscuits in there. You can
Yeah.
put it in the whizzer, and you can put
To make your
your favorite
your
things.
bun.
My favorite things to go into some of the slice bases is use your favorite cookies.
Yeah.
So you take classic cookie is your chocolate chippy,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's a New Zealand icon. Chuck a whole bunch of those in there. Put a bit of butter, a
Yeah.
little bit extra flour. Boom.
that can be your base.
That's your base.
Yeah.
You can refrigerate that, or you can bake it. It's up to you.
yeah.
But I like a crunchy base. You might like a cakey base. So a cakey base would be more along the lines of sugar, a couple of egg yolks, some
Yeah.
flour, baking powder. You make this soft kind of dough,
Yeah.
spread it out in there, and bake it just lightly until it's just
Yeah.
cooked.
Mm.
And then you spread your jam,
yeah.
and you make your meringue on the top. Now meringue's real easy to make. You use
Yeah.
you got 2 eggs. You use the yolks for the base. You use the whites for the top.
Yeah.
Then you chuck in some caster sugar, vanilla extract. You got your jam on the bottom. I always use raspberry jam. It's the business with
It
with
is
the
the
slice.
business.
Yeah.
You don't have to put coconut in, but the long strand coconut, that's what you want
It's
to put.
really
Once you've mixed up your
Yeah.
egg whites, then you put it in, because otherwise you'll
Oh,
crush it
yeah.
too much. So put that in, bake it for another 10-15 minutes. You're in happy land. Now a little piece of slice at night with your cup of tea while you're watching your favorite Netflix. It's just the dream.
It's never
Right
just
there
one
in
piece of slice though for me.
I know. Well, this
Or
is the
my
thing.
husband.
It's the whole thing.
Depends
Or
how
nothing.
big you make your slice and how big you cut the wedge
Yeah.
that you eat. But I like to go for a smaller piece because I'm a little bit round. But
Yeah.
slice and tea. There's nothing better at the
Yeah.
evening. So
Well,
make
slice or
yourself a slice.
decaf coffee.
Yeah,
Decaf coffee?
decaf. See,
Okay.
I'm all about it.
Decaf
I'm all
coffee's
about a
good time.
Milo too.
Oh,
but
Milo.
decaf coffee
Oh,
is
There's the Kiwi
That's
coming out.
that's your third thing you don't like. Is
Nope.
one. Yeah.
Milo,
Milo.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
Another
not a
thing.
Kiwi, sorry.
Yeah.
Milo just.
I
It's
find
just-
the bases are a make and break with all of these things. Like
Yep.
a good cheesecake has to have a good base.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Because
It's all about the base.
It's all about the base, no treble.
All about-
Because
the base.
baked cheesecakes aside,
That's right.
like good cheesecake, it has to
Ooh.
have that nice like
Mhm.
multi base.
Yeah.
That has it's
Goes
rigid,
well with the topping.
it's
Yeah.
rigid, but
Yep.
not so rigid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Mm.
it's not just a soggy mess that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Socky mess.
And,
Well,
and a beautiful crust.
Love it.
Like
And
Yeah.
it
the
needs to have
base
that
and the
cohesion
crust.
between the base and the
Yep.
actual topping.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Mhm.
there's nothing worse than sweet cheesecake and the whole topping comes off
Yeah.
with you and you left the base in the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not a good thing.
But it's,
So
it's
good.
the same when it comes to slices as well. Like the base is just as important as everything else
Yeah.
that's going on.
Ah,
there you go.
so good. Makes me kind
Happiness.
of want to bake, but the only
Thing.
problem is you eat it.
Yeah,
No,
Problem with
that's the
baking
point,
is
Mon.
you-
That-
No, oh my goodness.
that's the problem. You make a bad meal at night, you go,
Yeah.
and that goes to the dog. But
Ugh.
you make a bad kind of baking, you still
Yeah.
eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh, it's just sugary goodness.
It is
Anyway.
sugary goodness.
Slice and tea. That's your thing.
yeah.
Decaf coffee.
There we
If you're
go.
feeling a bit ritzy.
Yeah, that's
Peppermint
exactly
tea.
right.
Oh,
That's what I
peppermint
like.
tea. If you
That's what
really
I
want to
like.
go to sleep real fast. Not a peppermint tea fan, are you, Mon?
Oh, they always smell amazing, like all the herbal teas. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, and then you taste it, you go, "Bah, no,
Yeah.
Nope.
it
Definitely
smells
tea.
better than what it
There's always the
tastes."
smell and then
Yeah.
there's the taste.
I know, it's like
Reality.
I've tried so many times and I've got several, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Yep, just give it that.
Yeah, I know.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
There you
thank
go.
thanks,
Very
Rob.
cool. I love it. Yeah,
You
baby.
ain't gonna understand this flavor.
Wrong.
Payback.
All right.
Done.
So we've had a few things come in while we've been
here we
chatting.
Yeah.
This is
So my wife has also reminded me that I actually studied French when I was at school as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I did French,
Yeah.
but I did French.
Je m'appelle
Je
Bernie.
m'appelle Bernie. Comment allez-vous?
Oh,
My favorite word was bouf. In terms of when people ask
Le
you how
bouf.
you feel, you can say bouf,
Bouf.
which is very close to beef.
yeah. But
Bouf.
bouf is
Le bouf.
it's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like,
There you go. That's what it means.
So maybe to kick us off with this section, Pauline Longley has asked a question straight out of the
Oh,
gate,
here
Yeah.
we go.
saying,
Okay,
"I'd
pause.
love to know how you all meet your partners, and I hope that there was no cheesy pickup lines."
Wow.
So let's try that.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off before that. We get into the questions we prepared. Let's
Yeah.
answer Pauline's question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would like to start?
Yeah.
I
Who would like to
can.
start? Yeah, go for it.
I think people have heard this a bit, but I actually met my wife when I was 16, working at Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Wendy's.
There we go.
In
I was
Auckland.
on the
Wendy's.
grill. Yeah, Theatre 2 Wendy's. Okay,
Because
some
there's
of you
only
would have been.
one Wendy's at that stage.
Yeah, that's
correct?
right.
That's
That was
right.
the
So
first
that would
Wendy's.
be the Wendy's.
It is
yeah.
the head office. The head office of Wendy's
Exactly.
New Zealand is
Yeah.
in that place. And we met there. She was on the drive-through doing
Yeah.
the drive-through. I was on the grill flipping patties.
Yeah.
I was like, hey. No, I didn't say hey.
Yeah.
Actually, Deb's sister Grace, who's staying with us at the moment, she was like one of the managers, and got to know her. She ended up setting us up in some ways, along with
cute.
our friend Sarah. But Deborah was leaving Wendy's to go and do her tertiary education,
Yeah.
which was an esthetician, which is beauty therapy. And I was like, this is my opportunity. If she's leaving, and she won't care anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just like, who's this hoary Mary fella? And anyway, so I wrote a letter, hand
Oh,
wrote a letter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on. Yep, I tried about 15 times without mistakes.
Yeah.
Anyway, put it in, and I sent her a big bouquet of roses. And
Yeah.
I was just basically, would you like to pursue a relationship
Oh.
with me?
Wow, Rob.
Yep, and it had strawberries.
Rob's got
and-
swag.
It cost me like $80, and that's like
That
24
is
years ago.
incredible.
It's like
Yeah.
that's a week's
That's your
wages from
paycheck.
Wendy's.
Yeah, it's $500 today.
Yeah. And so and this is the crazy thing. She'll tell the story even better than me, but she didn't answer straight away. 2 weeks later, I was like,
she let you stew.
oh,
She
I'm
kept you
done.
hooked.
I'm done. She rings up, and we have this long conversation, but she didn't say, yes, I will be your girlfriend. Yes, we'll go out. It was just like, hey, we'll talk next week. It was like, wow, you a tiger.
you
nasty.
played hard to
put-
get.
You played real hard to get.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
That's
Wendy's
so
Old
cute.
Fashioned Hamburgers.
I love that. That's
I like
so
that.
cute.
That's like
So there
movie
you go,
quality
Pauline.
story.
I know. I love that. That is so cute.
Yeah, so we've been together since 17. I was
Wow.
17, she was 18.
That's awesome.
Wow. Mon,
Yeah.
you're up next. How'd you meet Pedro?
Pedro.
Peter. I was a brand new Christian, and I decided to do a discipleship training school with YWAM
Mhm.
up in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. And literally, when I say up the Rocky Mountains, that's a story in
Way up.
itself. But it was like, I think the base was like 8,500 feet
Whoa.
elevation.
Mhm.
So it was right up, and it was the most stunning place ever. It was amazing. Pete was already on staff
Mhm.
with the Colorado team with the YWAM base in
Staff
Cimarron.
member checking out the new.
He was a
girls
staff
coming in.
member,
That sounds
and
dodgy.
he did his
Sounds just like
DTS.
DTS to me.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it young wolves after maidens, or
Oh.
young men after women? Yes, all that. Okay, yeah. So, or youth without any money, which is really how it is. Okay, so that's what YWAM stands for. But Pete was there already on
Doesn't
staff.
officially stand for that. For those
No,
who-
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's youth with a mission.
Youth
So,
with a mission.
Yeah. Yeah. Pete was already on staff because he'd done his DTS on the Anastasis,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
which he boarded in Nelson,
Nice.
where he's from. And I saw him, and the girls that I was in the DTS with loved. They were all in love with Peter, but I just thought
You were like,
I'm like,
Okay.
no, I just thought, he looks like he's from the UK, like he looked foreign to me. And I was just like, nah, that look, so, I'm from California, used to guys who kind of wear, baseball caps and all that kind of thing. So I was like, nah. But all the girls are like, he looks like Tom Selleck. Wow. And I was
Tom
like,
Selleck. Did he
whatever.
have the mustache?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he had all that.
Yes, go on.
Come on,
So
Pedro.
really wasn't into it, but all the girls used to talk about him all the time. And I think I don't even think we spoke during my DTS because it was a big base. There was like 60 people, and sorry, no, way more than that, close to 100. But there was only like 20 girls, and the
Mhm.
rest were guys. So it's
look
that
at-
kind of base logging, the chopping wood and all that kind of thing. So most of us, I think, got married at there. Anyway, I know it's crazy.
It's good odds.
I know, really great odds. I know.
80-20.
But
Yeah.
anyway, they asked me to come on staff after my DTS. So I went back next year, and Peter and I really didn't have any interaction, really a whole lot, except we got thrown together to lead a team to Mexico. I ended up staffing the DTS, being the DTS leader. I know it's crazy, but doing that, and then we had to lead this group together. We got thrown together, and we had to pray together and make decisions together. And oh my gosh, I remember we were praying one time, and he said to me, I just want you to know, because I just want you to know that I kind of have feelings towards you, but I'm not going to act on that. And I'm like, and it was like so random. I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay, whatever kind of thing. And then
Thanks, random guy.
I
Thanks,
know,
Rand.
random guy.
Thanks, Pete.
I know. But what he kept doing after that was so funny, is that he would just do things for me all the time.
Mm.
Like he knew I like strawberries. I would get strawberries. Or there were like all these wonderful little things he used
Acts
to
of
do.
service.
Or if,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. And if I were washing dishes, part of my duty, Pete would go and help. And it was just like, oh, hi, and getting to know him. And there was just one time we were sitting in the cafe, and I remember looking at him thinking, this dude has amazing blue eyes. And it
Ooh.
was like the scales came off
Yeah.
my eyes, and
Song started playing in your head.
all of that.
Mon was like,
But
Love it.
but yeah, the minute I even kind of looked at Pete different, he must have known. Yeah, it was all on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that's how we met. We met in YWAM. And
cool.
Yeah. After that.
So cool.
For me, I met Vika in 2013 at
Yeah.
the Steiger Mission School. So similar to a DTS,
Yeah.
but Steiger's branded that.
Yeah.
But there's a backstory that needs to be shared.
Yeah.
So about 2 years prior, David Pierce, who's one of the key leads in
Yeah.
Steiger, I was speaking at our church, and I was running him out to the airport, and he had deduced that I was single at that time.
Yeah.
Did you?
And he's like, don't worry, man. Like, what if you want me to, I'll put you a picture in the newsletter that we send around Europe. Like,
There we go.
you got to see the girls from Ukraine. Like, they're lovely. And so I kind of put that to the side and like, whatever.
Dude, that's strange.
That's strange. And then when I decided to actually go to the SMS,
Yeah.
all my friends are hassling like, oh, you're just going to find a girl. You're gonna, and I'm like, no, I'm going for Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going for Jesus.
Because
Yeah.
the point of like where I was in my life that
Yeah.
needed to be going about Jesus. But all my friends are like, oh yeah, you say that, but you're really just, you're gonna find a wife. I'm like, no, like stubbornly, no. Like, and so I go there, and like we're at SMS in the first 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's amazing, it's incredible. And then the team from Ukraine arrived.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I remember this distinctly. I was on the worship team that morning playing guitar, and they arrived like midway through the session, and I just saw Vika instantly.
You were like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
bum
like,
note.
what-
Oops.
I don't know if it was a bum note or anything
Uh,
like that, but I was caught.
Push the
Yeah.
right button.
And and that was the beginning of it. And just we got to know each other over the next little while. It was really interesting because like the Kiwi speaks with a very nasally, choked up
All right.
way of speaking.
Yeah.
So trying to get us to understand each other was interesting for a little bit. But yeah, no, and the rest is history. And we got married. So that was we met and started dating around June.
Yeah.
Got married February 2014. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
that's time of Vika.
That's so sweet.
Living the
Yeah.
dream.
All right,
Living
now
the
we need to
dream.
crack into
All in.
our
There
interviews
you go.
because we've only got 20 minutes
Love.
left. So maybe we have to reduce it down to one or two
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
per person. So so I'm going to interview Monica. Monica's going to interview Rob, and Rob's going to interview me.
Yeah.
We don't have to start in that order if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, we can do it.
I'll
Does-
start then.
Okay.
All right, Mon.
Yeah.
How did you come to know Jesus?
How did I come to know Jesus? So back up. So I was working at a French restaurant, and kind of going to community college at the same time, and working at a restaurant where I met this girl. Well, back up even further. I went to 12 years of Catholic school, but when you do that, you don't have a relationship with Jesus. I know a lot about God and very spiritual, but not personal relationship. So I was working with this girl at this French restaurant, And she used to invite me to church all the time. And I'd be like, where do you go? And for a Catholic to go anywhere else is just kind of a weird thing. But she goes, oh, I go to Calvary Chapel in Costa Mesa. And I'd heard about this church as being the Jesus freak church. It was a massive, it started the Jesus movement in California with all the surfers.
Yep.
So it was a huge thing. And I'd be like, I'm not going there. But she used to invite me all the time. But we became really good friends. And every time I'd get into her car, she'd always have strategically playing a Keith Green song or something. And it would be real compelling to me. I'd always get out of her car feeling like I want to cry, with these amazing songs. And so I was kind of intrigued. And so one time I did go to Calvary Chapel. And what struck me was that this place, this night service on a Sunday night, was packed with all these young adults. Everybody had a Bible. They were sitting up the aisles. That's how packed it was. A girl comes, two people come out on stage. This is the birth of Maranatha music, man. So a girl comes on stage and a guy. She sits on a stool. This guy sits on a guitar, and they start singing Maranatha, these songs that they had written, and everybody's kind of engaged. I remember actually looking around, going, "Oh my gosh, they're singing like they know him."
Yeah.
And I just could not get over that.
So good.
And then Chuck Smith comes out and he sits on a stool too. He opens up the Bible and he just starts teaching. I'd never heard it put that way. He was just explaining the word and what Calvary Chapel does. Like they take 2 years, but they go through from Genesis to Revelation. They go through the Bible. And I can't remember what he opened up to, but I remember being so incredibly compelled by the music and watching everybody so engaged. It was phenomenal. And so I kind of started going to that and just could not let it go. But I remember waitressing. I was working a shift in between. I was kind of grabbing my food. They'd be like, Monica, these French restaurants, come and get the food. It's getting cold, kind of thing. And Kelly was coming in to get her paycheck. Then they didn't mail it out. You had to come and get your paycheck. And she came, and I actually said to her, I'm actually embarrassed to say this to you, but I don't even know where to start reading the Bible. I don't even have one. So, mind you, I had the Catholic Bible, massive big thing that I carried for 4 years in high school, never opened.
With a pseudepigraphy.
Yeah, exactly. Big fat. We never opened it.
No.
Yeah.
We had to, So I asked her, I go, where do I start? And she said, come on, start with the Book of John. She goes, we'll catch up on. We'll catch you later. So she leaves. I'd been waitressing and serving this table full of people, like this massive table, and I'm thinking, I was really bummed because I had spilt a drink earlier, spilt a Coke, and it kind of got on one of the ladies' skirts. I'm thinking, I'm not gonna get a big tip, because when you're a waitress, you live by your tips, kind of thing. I was like, I'm gonna get gypped with it because I spilt a drink. Anyway, they were really lovely. So after they leave and I clean up, I go to this table and I see my money on the table. I'm going, oh, wow, I got a tip on the table. And as I walk over, I notice that it is in a booklet. And when I picked it up, it was the Book of John.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had asked, and literally I kind of felt the hair on the back of my head go, like, and I thought, he knows, like he's on me, kind of thing. And I just kind of felt that. So it was right before Easter Sunday. Calvary Chapel has a sunrise service. So 5 a.m, they were singing. They did an altar call, and then I walked down.
That's
and
huge.
gave my heart to the Lord. And
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning, sunrise is coming. They're singing worship songs.
That's
I walked
awesome.
down, give my heart to the Lord, and honestly, I never ever looked back. It was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm all in. I'm all in. And so that's how I got to YWAM. For me, early on, I realized with the girls that there were certain things I wanted to pass on and certain things I didn't want to pass on. And I've got a really strong mom who's really lived through a lot of adversity. So for me, raising girls of just constantly trying to instill in them, like all the time, even when they were little, like kind of like that line out of The Help. You're smart, you're kind, more than beautiful, because the girls were really gorgeous when they were little, and they used to do pumpkin patch modeling and all that kind of thing. But I used to instill, man, use your brain, you're smart, and constantly doing that. And Pete was such a great contrast to me. We are so opposites. We could write a book. I'm like from Orange County, he's like Barry Crump, and if you don't know who that is, he's like a hunting hard Kiwi guy, but a Kiwi guy who's grounded can make anything, build anything. So I think in that, as much as I mothered the girls. Pete was also the one, hey, let's get you out in nature,
Mhm.
grassroots,
Yep.
keeping things simple,
Keep it real.
but really pouring into the girls of like traditions. Hey, this is what we do. This is who we are.
So good.
All the time, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And
Mhm.
it was the challenge is so harder now because this is before Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, they got cell phones when they were 16, but always really being hands on. I think I was really present, and if I could say that for for raising MJ or whatever, it was to be available.
Mhm.
The talks happen in the car on your way to a sporting event.
Mhm.
They want to talk at 11 o'clock at night,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you just got to wait your time with that. And
Yeah.
when they do, you lean in and,
Yeah.
and you're available and you're there. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
It's
Mon.
great advice.
Yeah.
So we
Great
have to keep
advice.
it pretty tight. Our
Yeah.
little mini interviews today because
Yeah,
we
gong.
had a few shenanigans. Oh, yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
All right, Monica, your turn to interview.
Interview
Rob.
me.
Rob,
Here
what?
we go.
Yeah. I will ask a deeper one afterwards.
Okay. It's
But
going deep.
Rob,
Yeah.
what were you like in high school?
Well,
Oh,
what was
wow.
I like in high school? I could show you some pictures.
Yeah. What were you
Um,
like?
I think I was so I was one of those kids that I think was quite bright at high school, but
Yeah.
was never encouraged to be bright.
Yeah.
So I played sport. And
Yeah.
so every sport that was available, I used to go from the first 11 team playing early on Saturday morning to the first 15 rugby team
Yeah.
playing in the afternoon. Like
Yeah.
it was just like I kept myself busy. Home life was tough.
Mhm.
Wasn't
Yeah.
something that I really enjoyed, and so tried to stay away from home as much as possible. Got a job at 15, 16 at Wendy's,
Yeah.
and then basically tried to stay away from home. So high school was Rutherford High School in West Auckland. It was a great school. The principal of that school became an elder at my church.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. Cliff Edmeades. His son now is the principal at BC.
Oh,
Lana
wow.
Edmeades. So it's quite cool having that connection. So yeah, didn't really apply myself at high school
Yep.
academically, and I was a pretty rough kid, hanging out with the wrong crowd most of the time. But I was one of those kids that could be within the skater surfy group, and then I
Yeah.
could be with the rapper hip hop Polynesian Maori boys
Yeah.
playing basketball and rugby, and the
So
next
cool.
day. So I was just that kid that could float everywhere.
Yeah.
Didn't really, yeah, as I say, didn't really apply myself at high school. Felt like I could do a whole bunch of things, but didn't really discover that I had a brain to apply myself academically until I went to Carey actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, so school was eat my lunch, hang out, have fun, play sport,
Yeah.
Yeah.
laugh at, get into fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
As you do.
Pretty
Yeah.
rough.
All
So
of that. Yeah.
I was that kid. So there you go.
And amazing. Look at you now, which
Yeah.
is incredible. Rob,
Mm.
what is I've got a deeper one, but let's do this one since I've given parenting advice. What's the best marriage advice
Ooh.
you ever received?
Best marriage advice we've ever received. So Deb and I are very, very opposite. Married for 21 years,
Yeah.
and introvert, extrovert. You know, missionary family, rough, rugged family. You know,
Yeah.
just everything there. I think communication was probably the most important
Yeah.
advice we got given. How do you communicate with one another in a way that each other hears and receives?
Yeah.
Because I can talk at you,
Yeah.
but you're not hearing it. And
Yeah.
so, yes, there's a self awareness and a discovery about each other that needs to happen in the midst of that. But communication, I think, is probably the
Yeah.
most important aspect of a good marriage. And so, we're still learning.
Yeah.
You know, and you change. You know, like
you
over
do.
20 something years, what I would have said at the start of marriage, you wouldn't be
100%.
saying
Yeah.
today.
You
and
grow up together.
yeah, and we're growing and we're maturing, and so we can go deeper. And so, yeah, I think communication is the most important thing, and doing it in a way that you truly hear each other.
Yeah.
That's the most important. And
Yeah.
we had our pre-marriage counseling with Mark and Lisa Woolley. Lisa Woolley's the CEO
Oh,
of
wow.
Vision
Yeah.
West, and they were just awesome. They had the kids around them, and we just saw this is
Yeah.
a natural part of life.
Yeah.
You know, the kids are here. We're still having our one-to-one with them, but that was one of their key things for us.
I love
Cool.
it,
Mm.
man. That's
There's the goal. Good.
All right, Rob.
All right, Bernie.
Yes.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Why study in Carey?
Oh, I got asked this question last night. Actually, I was on a call with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my wrestle with going to study
Yeah.
is about 18 months in the working.
Yeah.
But where I landed finally was the fact that I became aware that I feel a call to some level of Christian leadership.
Yeah.
And study is part of that if I want to
Yeah.
be able to do that.
Yep.
To get the degree to
Yeah.
give me some credibility. But at the same time, the bigger thing that made me want to do it was this idea that I've been involved in many areas of Christian
Yeah.
work,
Yep.
missionary work, pastoring,
Yep.
behind the scenes production, stuff like that. And for me, the idea of studying, and this was a huge wrestle for a long time, was the idea that there's going to be a deepening, that doing theological study is going to add depth to who I am.
Nice.
And I'm already experiencing that. Like, it's been awesome, like the journey already for the last few weeks, and bringing what I'm learning to the show feels giving me depth to go into topics that I didn't used to have. So yeah, but for a long time it was wrestling with the idea of doing it, and wrestling with the idea of like, why would I need a bit of paper that says I love Jesus? Isn't it obvious I love Jesus? And it actually isn't about that. It's about the resourcing yourself and deepening your understanding of who we are as a faith group, and what we believe in, who Jesus is, and how Scripture is actually just mind-blowingly amazing.
Yeah.
So something
So
to go
good.
with that, because you used the word wrestle. I've written wrestled down here
Oh,
in
wow.
my next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you. What is the most difficult thing you've wrestled with God over? And so you go from that now, and how you might wrestle with it. I'd like to ask you this question in 2-3 years' time when you finish it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's really good. That's a really, really good question that I wish we had longer to dive into.
To wrestle with.
Yeah.
I guess if I look at this situation in terms of the wrestle, like, why do you study? Because I'd seen people go into it and come out of it, and they either came out awesome on fire for Jesus, or the complete opposite, like they were really jaded with the church. And I think that's a really big wrestle. Is like, you're doing all this study, you're reading about how amazing God is and like His promises and His intention, and you're reflecting on the Israelite people and how they kept getting it wrong and turning away. And you come to this place of being like, okay, church, we're looking at the church made up of humans. We're not smashing it, but but you can't go around being like, oh, I've got this theology about this, and so you're rubbish, you're wrecked, get out.
Which
we
is
should be
what
doing it
happens,
differently. Which happens a lot. You can get really jaded. And so for me, the wrestle in that department is how do I add to the life of the church? Rather than just running around being like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to be. So in terms of church life, I think that's an immediate wrestle. But I think, in the significant times I've wrestled in my life in the past, whether it be losing Sophie or having to make significant change in our lives, like uprooting ourselves and transitioning to being missionaries, or out of missionary back into, it's only through knowing God that makes that process even the slightest bit more comforting. It's horrible and it's uncomfortable, but like in each of those moments, I can reflect now and be like, God was there. And even in the midst of the wrestling, screaming at the Lord, asking, like, why has this happened? Or why are you asking us to do this? Or, there's a calm, I use this idea as like this calming whisper. And the more you change in your direction to face where that whisper potentially is coming from, the more access that whisper has into your life. Is the way I like to. So even in the midst of chaos, if you position yourself in a way, even in the midst of wrestle, to position yourself to be able to hear that, you can. Sometimes you can't, and it has to overpower the chaos of everything else that's going on to speak to you. But it's definitely, the wrestle is about positioning, and it makes
so good.
In a nutshell, in a quick 2-minute space, I think that's how I would answer that question. It's like, wrestle is always going to happen. And there's going to be things that are unfair and hard and horrible that happen. But Jesus is in the midst of it, and it's so the question always is, how are you positioning yourself? And for me, study is just a deepening of that.
Very
Absolutely. No, it's awesome.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
There we go. That was a hot fire round of questions.
Bang. There
Okay.
it is.
Producer
There's the
Logan,
answer.
Yeah,
in
there
the
he goes.
closing few
There's the
minutes,
eyebrows.
you've got some
Okay.
questions for us as well, don't you?
One sentence answer only.
Okay.
What food have you never eaten but would really like to try? What food have you?
Oh, you guys go first.
Food never eaten. So is it like we currently like don't
Haven't eaten it,
Yeah.
haven't eaten it, but you'd really like to try.
that you would really like to try?
Can I put a twist on that question?
Yeah, go.
So I wish I liked eggs,
Ooh.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
just don't.
Oh, I love eggs.
Eggs, eh?
Yeah.
Because I know how convenient they are.
Yeah.
I've heard things about how amazing an eggs Benny is. Never
Yeah.
had one, but I wish I liked eggs because then I could have one.
Yeah.
But I can't do it.
Eggs. There you go.
Oh my gosh, Rob, you're gonna have to, I have to think. What do you reckon?
I'm gonna say there are some things out there that people go, ew, I don't want to try that. But for me, there's a few little things. I haven't had a good haggis. Someone
I've
says
never
haggis
tried
is like the
haggis.
stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I want to try haggis.
Okay.
I want
yeah.
a Scotsman to make me a good haggis, and I want to try it. There you go, haggis. Never had it.
Oh wow. Good night. Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, I have tried like I love caviar and things like that, but I'm just trying to think. What haven't I? Like I've never tried quinoa, but I don't want to try it.
That's good.
I know I've heard
That's
that.
good, man.
Like there's just certain things. I too have never had haggis, and I'm sure it's great. But yeah, oh gosh, another no, and I've never had biltong or any of that. But
You
I've
haven't
heard
had
it's like
biltong?
No, I've heard it's like
Nah.
beef jerky.
All right, we need to change
It's like
that.
Yeah,
spicy
yeah.
beef
We
jerky.
need to change that.
Well,
I love beef jerky.
With
but-
100,000 South Africans in this
Exactly.
town,
I
we can
know.
get some biltong anywhere.
Rob, you got another?
Next
Logan, you got
question.
another question for us?
What is an unusual place you have visited?
Nice.
I can start
Plenty.
with this.
Yeah, go for it.
So it was when I was living in Germany.
Yeah.
I was kidnapped by a friend of mine at the Tiger base we're staying
Yeah.
at, and he took me to a town called Chemnitz.
Yep.
And this isn't really an unusual place; it's just an unusual thing that happened at
Yeah.
a place. He asked me to come help him with a job.
Yeah.
I didn't take my phone or anything because like we're gonna be moving stuff.
Yeah.
We get in a van and we start driving for like 2 hours away from where we were
Yeah.
to this place called Chemnitz. And the reason was because I was setting up for like a farewell bachelor party thing back at the base, and they didn't want me to be around. But he takes me to this place, and he pulls up in front of this giant statue of Karl Marx's head,
Oh,
just like
my
it's in the middle
word.
of this town. And he's like, "All right, before you get to go home, you have to perform a haka to Karl Marx
It's,
as a protest kind of thing."
I like it.
So it's not so much an unusual place. I mean, it's an unusual thing I had to do
Yeah.
in an unusual place.
Yeah.
Which is
you
a
go.
haka to a statue of Karl Marx in Chemnitz.
It's impressive.
I
Truly,
did it.
Truly
I
impressive.
Yeah,
did it.
you
There's
did
video
it.
footage out there of me doing it. It was horrible, but I did it.
About you, Mon.
Oh my gosh, unusual. I'm gonna go with the experience. I remember being on mission trip. We were in
Yeah.
Mexico, and we got paired off with different people to kind of go. And this is over the border in Texas and Juarez, but deep in Juarez. And now it's too dangerous to go. But we were deep in Mexico, and we're in like a really poor village type, and going going to kind of talk about Jesus and being really nervous about it.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a lady, and because I could kind of speak a little bit of Spanglish,
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Spanglish.
Yeah, no, I'm good at Spanglish. But got asked by a lady to like, oh, Vin, like come. And she took me to this back room
Yep.
of this house. So I'm like, oh, what's happening? And there it's full of people, the
Yep.
back room. And she said, can you pray in Spanish? And it was a dead body. It was at the back.
No.
And me and like I'm like a new Christian. I was just like, oh, yeah. And you would like me to pray how for him to rise from the
for him to
dead.
rise from
And
the
I was
dead.
just like, we will pray for you,
Yeah.
and we will pray. And so I'm laying hands on this dead body
Oh,
and just saying,
wow.
God, would you just be with them, and just prayed for peace on this family. Did he rise from the dead? No.
No.
But we got to have a cup of tea, hot chocolate or whatever, and tea with this family, and they were really lovely, full of people, and just got to pray with them. But it was the most bizarre Christian
Oh yeah.
as
Oh,
a young
yeah.
girl. But yeah, a dead body at the back of the room.
All right, Rob.
Last
Unusual
one.
place.
Unusual place would be middle of Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
into a village in a place called Missum, and there's a fence around this burnt piece of grass.
Yeah.
And it was the most scary spiritual experience for me
Wow.
because that was where the witch doctor's house used to be,
Mhm.
and they burnt it to the ground,
Yeah.
and you could feel
Yeah.
that there was something that now this is a Christian village,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they'd prayed this guy out literally,
Yeah.
but they'd burnt down his Sanguma house
Yeah.
where he came and did it, and it was just like it was that unusual moment where you go something. There's something spiritual about this,
Yeah.
and they'd put a little fence around. No one walks on that piece of land. Being Maori, whenua, all of these kind of things, I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, something stirred in my spirit. So there you go. That's an unusual
Wow, that's
place.
so
Wow.
unusual.
Well, there we go. So we've hit a new record. We've just crossed an hour. Don't worry, I've extended on Church Online. So
Yeah.
we haven't disappeared from them. But
Yep.
we'll wrap things up with that.
Yeah.
This has been very insightful this
So,
morning.
there
I
you go.
know. Fully.
Some people may be like, we didn't get enough. We're like, that's good. We,
Send your
And some were
questions.
like TMI.
Yeah, yeah.
Too much information.
it's always good to leave the people wanting more.
That's right.
Is my opinion on the
Yeah.
matter. So maybe we'll do this again sometime. Let us know if
Yeah.
you want us to do it again sometime. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll do it on episode 90. Maybe we'll do it on episode 100.
That's
Who
right.
knows? I think it needs to be a significant number for us
Needs
to do
to.
it again.
It needs to.
But thank you for joining us, all of you.
I know, so
there you go.
good.
There you go. Your mum's giving the applause.
Oh,
Great show today, as always.
So
Now, I
sweet.
need to let you know about Tuesday's show. So
Yeah.
there will be a Tuesday show,
Yes.
but we're having to pre-record it because I'm having to do something else on Tuesday
Yep.
morning. So there will be something that comes out.
Mhm.
I'm thinking we might be able to release a video version as well as audio.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, there will just be an audio version release on
Yep.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So now's a great time to today go and subscribe to Spotify and Apple Podcasts
Yeah.
so you're kept up to date.
Yep.
Because we'll still be breaking down the Sunday messages.
Yeah.
We'll just be pre-recording it. So we won't be bringing in your comments and things like that, but the crux of the show will stay the same.
Yep.
Yes. So that's what's happening on Tuesday. So we'll see you, but not see you live. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
sounds
weird,
good.
Yeah.
but there'll be something for you to enjoy. But we hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'll pray for us as we close out our time together today. Lord Jesus, I thank you for today. I thank you for our friends who have joined us online. I thank you for the things we've shared. My hope is that it's helped other people who have listened
Thank
to
you,
this
Lord.
or who will listen to this later on in the day. May you bless them and keep them and guide them in their journey with you, whether beginning to know you for the first time or knowing you for a long, long time, Lord. Thank you for these people and thank you for the things we've shared. And thank you for the opportunity to do this in your holy and mighty and powerful name. Amen.
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 Well, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you at church on Sunday if you're able to come. Otherwise, we'll see you online. And we will catch you next week. Have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.